Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. My wonderful friends, I hope you guys are well, enjoying yourselves, and hope you guys are liking my white hairs in my beard and mustache. Have you seen some of those people who have like white and it's like half white? Weird. Anyway, guys, today's Jummah, mashallah. It was a wonderful Jummah today, alhamdulillah. In fact, I actually walked it. Yeah, so that's a bit of a new thing I've started this week. My bike's in the bike shops. I've been walking it. So walking it every day, mashallah, benefiting a lot. Yeah, so I don't know if do you guys walk a lot? You guys do your 10,000 steps. I think it's very good. You should start it. If you haven't started it, trust me, start it. But you got to be a bit punctual with it. That's the main thing. Punctuality is key to success in anything. So I would say, if you just do your 10,000 steps a day, you will lose a lot of weight. Yeah, as long as you don't start eating more, and just eat the right. Just when you do your exercise and everything, obviously drink proper, eat your proteins, but you'll see a good loss in your weight, inshallah. Yeah, so try it and let me know. Yeah, see how many things I teach you guys. Cold showers, mashallah, that's the best thing, and cycling, and going for these long walks, 1 hour walks. So 10,000 steps is about 1 hour walk. So if you walk for about an hour, that's about 10,000 steps, roughly. Maybe slightly less. Yeah, but it depends how fast you walk as well. So, Kazmataz, ahlan wa sahlan, welcome. Abu Bakr, wa alaikum assalam. Muhammad, wa alaikum assalam. Ahlan wa sahlan, my brother. Are wetsuits permissible to wear for swimming? Yes, they'd be permissible. They wouldn't be. I mean, wetsuits are normally not translucent, so you can't see underneath. They're covering the whole body. And they're thick enough. They don't really they're not resembling like spandex material. Yeah, so which wraps around the limb, and it shows the exact shape of the limb. This is it's quite thicker, so I would say there wouldn't be a problem with that, wearing that. I have never worn a wetsuit, I think, in my life, but I heard that if you want the wetsuit, you actually got to put your wetsuit on. You got to put a bit of water into it, and it creates a layer in between, and that keeps you warm. Yeah, so these are I don't know, those people out there who like going swimming. I would love to go swimming in the ocean, although I'm really scared. I don't know why I've got a phobia of deep sea swimming for some reason. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. I just have it. What are your phobias? What kind of phobias do you guys have? You guys any phobias? Maybe it's watching too much Jaws when I was young. Maybe that's kind of like created that image in my head that something from underneath is going to come up and grab me down, Loch Ness monster. So anyway, this is Jummah, guys. Friday, mashallah. Those of you guys who are not familiar with my channel, shall I go online live for my friends at Instagram? Let's go live on there. Okay, give me a second, guys. Live Q&A. All right, so no audio. What do you mean no audio? Audio's not working. Yeah, so maybe Hassan, maybe you need to log off and log back in again, or maybe you need to put your audio up, volume up. Right, so yeah, so this is this week, mashallah, I've been making videos. Monday, I made a video for Quran, and a new thing I've started now in the Quran videos. I've added some tajweed rules, some basic tajweed rules. Right, so it was basically the tanween rule and noon ikhfa, noon sakin rule. Right, so tanween, noon sakin rule. I mentioned that. So what I'm going to start doing now is, as I go through the chapters, I'm going to start introducing more rules, and that way, it's going to be easier to implement the rules. The main thing I think in tajweed and these sciences is just implementation. If you are really good at implementation, you kind of have mastered the subject. What do you guys think? AP, alaikum assalam. How are you? I'm very well, thank you very much. I missed one rakat in Maghrib Salah. The Imam read Surah Nasr in his second ruku. Should I have read a surah before Surah Nasr or a surah after it when I make up my ruku? So what I've done is I've actually made a video to help you guys understand how to make up salats. So to make up, how to make up misrakats in Maghrib. I've actually made one for that. It's a short, so you can just take about 1 minute to watch, inshallah. So check that out, inshallah. Hopefully AP, that should help you. So this is for making up Maghrib. Making up Maghrib. Yeah. If you do MMA, they get you to wear shorts that are above the knees and up to the thighs. Can we wear long johns? Yes, I wouldn't see a problem. I used to wear that because I know, because when you do these movements and you do a lot of exercise, if you wear, just normal tracksuit bottoms, it can cause sores as well on the skin. So these kind of things are very good. So I would say yeah, because you're not really showing the aura ghalida, right? You're just kind of like showing a little bit around that area. Also, should a latecomer read Thana when he gets up to make up Muslim? Yes. You're speaking to the guy who has no audio. Well, that's the thing, isn't it? So I'm going to speak to someone. Abu Bakr, if someone is choosing a madhab to follow, would it be better to follow the local community family follows? Yes. That would follow the madhab that it would be easier for you to get information. Right? So if you're going to follow madhab, make sure you follow madhab where you can get your answers easily answered. So if you're living in a community where there's Maliki and the access to the scholars are Maliki, just ask the Maliki scholar. And if it's Hanbali, then just follow the Hanbali. Whatever's kind of more convenient for you. Anime quotes, I understand Fusha but not Arabic books. Is there types of Fusha and how to understand difficult Arabic books? What I would suggest, what kind of books can you read? Yeah, what kind of book? So Fusha, I think you might mean by that Modern Standard Arabic, MSA. Yeah, and you by non-Fusha you mean like dialects. Is that what you're saying? So at the moment, what's an average book you can read? On average type of text, do you have an average type of text? Do we go with the Imam or after the Imam in Ruku? So according to Abu Hanifa, you go with him. Yeah, and Sahibain say a slight delay. Yeah, doing action. So Imam Hanifa says you go with him mutaba'ah. You do mutaba'ah, which means to follow exactly. So when he says Allahu Akbar, you say Allahu Akbar and go. Like that. And Sahibain say you just slight delay. So when he says Allahu Akbar, you just like maybe like a second then after. My mustache looks proper thick today. F. Binti Siddiq, I wanted to ask for some advice. My family booked Umrah for us during Hajj time. They didn't clearly tell me which visa it is. I saw it on the news that you can't go Umrah after the 16th of the Qa'dah day. Okay, but my family has already booked, but they didn't clearly tell us how we are still going. So I was wondering, will we be sinful? No, you won't be sinful, inshallah. You won't be sinful. No, for going. No, inshallah, you won't. Hopefully, inshallah, they should let you in. What I would suggest is contact like a reliable Hajj organizers or Umrah and ask them. They'll probably give you the best advice. I don't think there's any restriction on these things because Saudi's kind of opened up a lot of these things. Allah knows best. Average, like I can read basic fiqh books, but I can't understand old Arabic of scholars, especially scholars of Quraysh. Yeah, so what I would suggest is just try to read storybooks as much as you can. Kids' storybooks, read, and inshallah you will get better. Yeah, so I have a collection of books on my Google Classroom, not Google Classroom, Google Books. Yeah, let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here it is. So if you try reading through these, inshallah, you will improve. All right, so it might take you a bit of time. Arabic reading books. What happens if one does not know whether they have qada salat to make up? Do they ignore it? Yeah. So if you don't know, ignore it. Yeah. So ignore it. Yeah. So if you don't know, ignore it, inshallah. You're welcome, F bint Siddiq. All right. So yes. So that's basically. I've been making those videos. So Mondays I'm making Quran videos, and I'm adding a bit of tajweed to it. Tuesdays, I'm making. Well, not at the moment. Wednesdays is the poetry of Sayyidina Ali. Thursdays is Quduri. Fridays is this. And Saturdays is live stream as well. Hopefully, I'm going to restart the Malfluti ones as well. Inshallah. It's been a while. Okay. Anime. So sad to see a religion where salvation must be earned. Merit. So sad. Yeah, I guess it's better than a guy has to die for us. Yeah, a guy dying. I think that doesn't make sense. Poor guy who has to die for humanity. Zob, alaikum assalam, ala wasahlan. I have read about Dad pronunciation. I want to start pronouncing it like Dha. Someone advised to continue pronouncing it with modern pronunciation. Yeah, I mean, what I would suggest is try to get a qari to listen to you. If you get someone who's good at tajweed, tell them to listen to you, and they'll tell you what kind of pronunciation is what you want to aim for, inshallah. Also, I wanted to ask regarding Zamzam. Is it complimentary for everyone? How much we want to even stock in the hotel? Yeah, in the hotel you can take as much as you like. You'll see people there with just plastic bags. They fill it up from the masjid and come back. But when you come back to England, you can't. I think they only allow you one bottle. They'll give you one bottle. I was wondering if you need ijaza for it, as I haven't been Umrah in many years. Yeah, so you can take it from the masjid, no problem. How does Zamzam system work? So Zamzam system, you basically have to fill it up from those water coolers. I don't know if there's a main tap where you can fill it up from. Don't worry, inshallah. When you go there, you will find out, inshallah. What about secretly bringing it to London? You can try, but what might happen is it might break in your bag, and it's happened to people, and it messes up all their luggage. So I know some people try to secretly bring water. So why I would say you don't have to bring. You can simply just buy it. You can simply buy Zamzam in the UK that's imported from Saudi. And I think in Saudi, if you actually pay some extra money, you probably can get some extra Zamzam shipped over. But if you want to risk all of that, then tafaddal. Walaikum salam. If someone has had a major operation, after they have come round, they are unable to move, and nobody's able around to help them make tayammum as they are unable to move, then how does one pray salah? So are they able to move their hands? Are they able to move their hands or anything? Muhammad, have you read the Quran Beheld? Have you read the Quran Beheld by Sheikh Noor? No, I haven't. He went through every word twice with Sheikh Ali. Yeah, I heard about it. I actually want to get hold of it because I remember Sheikh Saeed, Suhaib Saeed. He actually went through it. Well, not through it, but introduction to it. Private. What is your advice? Yeah, my advice would be get in contact with the Qari and pronounce it with them. And there's a lot of flexibility in pronouncing Lord, right? So that's probably one of the most flexible words that you can actually pronounce. What is the ruling on a person who is paralyzed to a certain extent? Is salah compulsory on? Yes. So as long as they can move their head, or as long as they can move their fingers or something, then it's necessary on them. They can move their hands but not able to get up or sit down. So what they can do is keep a rock by them. Get a rock, a stone, piece of stone or marble. Keep it by them. They just have to touch it and touch their face and touch their arms. That's it. Yeah, that would be sufficient, inshallah. Wa alaikum assalam, Muhammad Fahim. Ahla wa sahlan. What's happening, my brother? Up to Surah 20 and is being updated. Ah, okay. Interesting. Very good. Yeah, is there any access to it? Can istibra include waiting for 3 or 5 minutes? Yeah, if you want to do that, you can wait 3 or 5 minutes. Correct way to do istibra is just when you go toilet. Istibra basically is making sure that all the drops of urine have come out. So you go to the toilet, and after you go to the toilet, you just clean your private area, and then you get up, walk around a bit, come back, and then wash yourself. Right? Just wash it and ignore everything else. The guy is God himself. Well, unfortunately, God, the creator of the universe, has to die, which doesn't even make sense. How can a God die? Yeah, and why would a God die in the form of a human? Makes no sense to me. Wa alaikum assalam, Shazia B. What would you do if you made namaz istikhara to take a decision but feels like you made the wrong decision? So, look, istikhara is done after you have investigated everything. Yeah, after you've investigated, checked everything, you're happy. Like, let's say you're buying a car and you want to do istikhara. So you check it out, you check everything. Once you're happy with it, there's no problem. Then you do istikhara. So istikhara is only done after you have investigated everything, not before. And then once you've done istikhara, you just go for it. And if it's not meant to be, then it's not going to happen. And if it's meant to be, then it will happen. Right? Now, if you feel inside it's a wrong decision, don't go for it. But that's only after you've done all the investigation. Sheikh, I like your hair and it's also sunnah. Can you tell me how to take care of your long hair? I don't have long hair. I have short hair now. I've cut all my hair. What the easiest way to take care of it, I would say, is make sure you regularly comb your hair. Make sure you regularly put oil in your hair, and inshallah, it should be fine. Does one need to squeeze during istibra? So slightly, just to kind of make sure that there's no drops, and then after that, just wash it and carry on. I think you should go through Maqasid As-Suwar by Sheikh Ali Hani. He goes through the main aims of each chapter. Very beneficial. Okay, I'll check that out, inshallah. Jazakallah khair. Someone else mentioned that to me as well. I'm taking antibiotics for stomach infection and felt I couldn't do all rakats of Zuhr and only did 4 rakats of Fard. But after Fard, I felt I can do last 2 Sunnah. Yes, inshallah. Try your best, whatever you can do. If you need to pray sitting, pray sitting. Yeah. If you find it difficult to move around, pray sitting with just ishara. May Allah give you shifa. I actually had stomach problems as well past few weeks. Pain in my stomach, and then I've been taking medicine for it. Omeprazole is called. Alhamdulillah. Much better now, much better. I'm almost near the end of the course of tablets. You're welcome, F. Binti Siddiq. Expert analyst, how do you diagnose if a child is evil eye and how do you treat it? I don't know, because that's not my field. Generally, if a person all of a sudden gets ill randomly for no reason, generally that's kind of like a clue. Yeah, but I don't know exactly how it's done. If someone is in a coma, what is the ruling regarding their salawat? So Hanafi say that the salats, if they are in a coma for more than 24 hours, then the salats drop from them. They don't have to make those missed salats up. Jesus would eat. Since when does God need to eat? Yeah, that's it. I mean, it doesn't make sense. Like, I respect, we respect our Christian brothers and sisters out there, but I think Christians need to think about like their beliefs. Like, are they really believing something because they simply are, taking a leap of faith, like they say, or they believe because it makes sense. So I think anyone, even Muslims, right, you should read the Quran, understand in the Quran, Allah encourages us to think about why we do things for. So I think that is the main thing. And in the Quran, Allah says as well, Jesus and his mom used to eat food. How can they be God? How can God have this, God is, you can't just make anything God. You can't make a tree God, and you can't make a rock God. Yeah, it goes against the whole concept of what God stands for. Do you know any fiqh book which addresses small and technical issues? Yes. Like, it depends what kind of technical issues. Depends what level of issue is it. So if you want Hanafi fiqh, I would suggest like a very advanced book would be Bahr al-Ra'iq. And Bahr al-Ra'iq, Fath al-Qadir. These are like common books. Sheikh Suhaib went through Surah Yusuf. He agreed with certain aspects and disagreed with certain aspects. Beneficial, yeah. I've heard that Radd al-Muhtar is only a tahqiq of Ibn Abidin and not necessarily a mufta bihi. Yes, that's right. How to find mufta bihi, Ma'az? You need to basically, that's why you need to do iftar. You do the whole iftar, because iftar shows you how the fatwa is given, what the fatwa is, how do you identify what fatwa is given upon. So it's not an easy thing that you can just explain in 5 minutes. Sika wa alaikum assalam. Abu Bakr, does the method of istinja mentioned in Nur Idha apply nowadays, the part where wiping from the front and the back? So generally, I mean, look, the issue of istinja is not meant to be like complicated. It's just meant to be, you go toilet, you wipe yourself, and then you get up and you go. That's all it's supposed to be in a nutshell. If someone's thinking too much, how am I supposed to do it? That shows this is not natural. Yeah, Sahaba used to go toilet outdoors. They used to use stones. They'd go toilet, use the stone, urinate, defecate, use a stone, clean themselves, get up and walk off. That's it. So we don't hear about them like spending too long in cleaning themselves or getting frustrated of how am I supposed to do it. No. So what I would suggest is, if the method of Nur Idha is stressing you out, don't do it. Just go, like I said, go toilet and just relieve yourself, wash yourself, get up and go. Can you wash ihram before Hajj and Umrah? Yes, you can. One of the most difficult questions I tend to receive from non-Muslims is, why did Prophet Muhammad ﷺ marry Aisha at the age of 6? And what I would suggest expert analysts is that go on to Sapiens Institute. They have a very good explanation for this. Yeah, so go there, Sapiens Institute. Alhamdulillah, you'll find Dr. Jonathan Brown on YouTube has explained it as well in a lot of detail. So inshallah, that should answer your question. Sheikh, do you know any fiqh book which addresses small technical issues? Yes, like I said to you. Sheikh, are you Yusuf Zay from the tribe Yusuf Zay? Yes. Wa alaikum assalam. I'm taking private Arabic lessons in Nahw and Sarf. What's a good fast track that I can use to get the main parts of Sarf? I think the main part is application. As long as you can do application with the Sahih letters, then all the other rules just fall in place. Yeah, so focus a lot on the Sahih. As long as you can do Sahih of all, Mujarrad, Mazid, Thulathi, Ruba'i, as long as you can do all of them and you can identify them from the Quran and from Arabic texts, then the other ones just fall into place. They're very easy to understand. Maqaj Sur are his lectures in 80 videos. I will check it out, my brother. A brother who makes Let the Sunnah Go Forth videos said it's sufficient that we sprinkle water on our garment. He said Allah did not burden us beyond that. Sounds fine. A person with IBS where flatulence is on and off and significantly affects the namaz, and they're not sure if they're ma'zur on and off, what does he do? So what I would suggest in that situation is he just does wudu for the salat and carries on. Yeah, does wudu for the salat and carries on. And that would be sufficient. Ahmad Malik, is it permissible, encouraged to vote in the UK? I would say yes. Also, is there a difference of opinion amongst the scholars regarding this issue? The only people I know who are against it are Hizb ut-Tahrir are against it, and I think Muhajirun, those kind of groups. Otherwise, everyone else says fine. It's considered a mubah thing to do, and in some situation, it might even be highly recommended to do it, especially if it's going to support the Muslims. Yeah. Do we have to read Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim each time before reading Surah Ikhlas more than once? No. How does the muqallid then find the mufta bihi, and what is this? The muqallid is of two types. Studying muqallid and the non-study muqallid. Non-study muqallid, he just follows whatever his scholar says to him. He doesn't have to follow any mufta bihi. And the studying one, he obviously is going to be going through the process of studying. So he's learning about how you reach this. Yeah, so the idea is that he's kind of in the process of learning about it. What I would suggest is, try to study. There's a book called Al-Madkhal by Al-Madkhal. What's it called? Al-Madkhal Mufassal. Is it called Madkhal Mufassal? By Dr. Salah Abul Hajj. Yeah, and that will help you a lot in understanding it's in Arabic, how the scholars reach the conclusion of a particular answer. Now, a lot of people who study in madrasa are technically lay people. That's what they are, lay people. When I mean studying, someone studying advanced fiqh. How to know if this person has nur on his face? Allah knows best. Good question. Anybody help our friend Anime? I am not asking about waswasa just because I have started going through Nur Idha and wondering. Yeah, so like I said, that would be the basic. For everyone, the basic thing would just be that for the normal person, it's just we go on toilet. As long as you feel as though it's all done, just wash yourself and go. About the Salat al-Istikhara, what if you feel like you made the wrong decision after taking the decision? What should you do? You can leave it. You don't have to follow the decision. Yeah, you can leave it. Now look, if a person buys a car, there's no guarantee that the car is going to give them a happy life. Maybe they'll drive the car and maybe 2 weeks later they'll get involved in a bad car accident. That doesn't mean the istikhara was wrong. It just means that was actually part of the istikhara, because you went in istikhara, you're asking for khair in your life. Oh Allah, give me khair in my life and my religion. So maybe that's going to be something beneficial for you to become more practicing, more closer to Allah. Same thing happens with marriages. People do istikharas and they say, oh, my marriage didn't work out. It flopped after 2 years, 3 years. What do I do? It doesn't matter. If it flops, it flops. Sahaba's marriage flopped. They married again. Yeah, so don't worry about it. Have trust in Allah. Istikhara is always trust in Allah. Inshallah. LAH, wa alaikum assalam. Just a quick one. Imam Sahib at Jummah read the famous Ya Rasulullah, unzur halana dua. Would this render my Jum'ah invalid due to shirk? No, it would not. Yeah, it would not. No, it wouldn't be shirk. Fatima, Sheikh, do you have recordings of Quduri lessons or Arabic videos that anyone can benefit? Yes. If you check on my YouTube channel, inshallah, you'll find a whole playlist of Quduri and many Arabic series as well. Sika. Now hit the like button, guys. Make sure you share my videos. Hit the like button. It helps my videos to reach a larger audience. So if you guys can do me a favor, share my videos, share on your platforms, on your social media. It helps my videos, guys. During a shower, I would wash my hair and body and then wash my private parts with just water and perform full wudu. Is washing the private parts still necessary? I have washed them in the shower. No, they're done. No need to wash them again. I'm doing your Quranic Arabic grammar and Tarkib course in 7. It's amazing, so beneficial that I feel like I'm able to do Tarkib. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. You know what? I think I need to make another one. I need to do like a proper follow-on from that one. Because I remember I was working on a book. So maybe I think the main thing I always tell students is, Nahu. Nahu is all about being able to break down sentences when you're reading the Quran. That's the main reason why we have Nahu. And so you can read the Quran accurately. Yeah, understand the Quran accurately. That's why I always tell people, when you're studying grammar, make sure that the grammar is leading you to improve your i'rab and tarkib. That's what it is. So Jazakallah khair for your kind comment, TMZ. Zaid, wa alaikum assalam. Sanga halde zamarur. Sanga ye tool sanga di. Alta bara khalak sanga di. They used to, like in Pashto, they say barani, up. Yeah, like in the mountain people. So you guys are like the bara people. What's the ruling of Jummah if a woman wants to go for Jummah on Fridays? Yes, she can go. Can she freely go according to Hanafiya? Yes. Will she be sinful since some say Dhuhr can be prayed at home? No, she won't be sinful. Because the Hanafis say in the books, Imam Quduri says that Jummah is not necessary, and he lists a list of people, and he says amongst them is a child and a woman and slave and someone who's a musafir, etc. Then he says, فَإِن صَلَّوْا أَجْزَأَهُمْ. If they were to go for Jummah, it would suffice them. Is imitating kuffar haram in Hanafi madhab? If you are imitating something which is specific to their religion, then it's considered to be haram. Or it's something which is abhorrent to Islam. Should I get married if I am in uni and can't give nafaqah? I fear sin. So if you speak to the woman and she says, I'm happy to waiver the nafaqah, yeah, I'm happy to live in my house, you can live in your house, we can officially get married, that would be allowed. Yeah, but only if the woman is okay with wavering the nafaqah. Maru Puccino. Sound like Italian. In madrasa, we do mishkat, we do tasrih and tarjuma for certain chapters and study in detail. But other chapters we do ibarat without tarjuma or tasrih. Is there a reason why we shouldn't be doing that? Really, every book should be covered thoroughly. I think what generally happens in madrasas is a lot of the books cannot be covered thoroughly because of the time limit they have. So what they do is they try to do as much as they can with detail, and then the rest of it they just read through and everyone listens. I was really thinking that I really need to start a Mishkat series. I know you're probably going to be thinking, all the other series are like looking at me thinking, we've heard this before. But the reason I'm thinking this is because a lot of madrasas I know haven't covered Mishkat cover to cover. And it's I think it's probably one of the most important books to really get you into the Sihah Sittah, because you cover all the major topics. Should I get okay? Can a woman pray Qiyamul Layl behind Imam according to Hanafiya? Yes, inshallah. Wa alaikum assalam, Masir Ali, ahlan wa sahlan. Is it makruh to pray Jum'ah at 5:15? As long as Asr has not started, it's fine to pray. Maybe you should teach I'rab al-Quran or have students do the I'rab live. Yeah, maybe. I mean, you've seen my Qasas, Surah Qasas series. The only thing is that the I'rab al-Quran, it requires sometimes like going into advanced things. So showing the multiple different tarkeebs of it. TMZ, after we finish, and I know, Amasir, you're probably thinking, you have students do the I'rab, wink, wink. I know, bro. TMZ, after we finish your Arabic Tarkeeb course, would you recommend the Ajurumiyya? Yes, do Ajurumiyya. Do Ajurumiyya so you can cover at least the basic text, you know how the language works. And then you can do Sharh Qatr al-Nada. Yeah. Or even, you don't really need to do Sharh Qatr al-Nada, I would say. As long as you can implement, the main thing is you can read Arabic and you can implement it, then do Sharh Qatr al-Nada. Is women going to the masjid forbidden or makruh tahrim according to Hanafi madhab? So the Hanafis, Abu Hanifa rahimahullah and Abu Yusuf rahimahullah, they had this difference of opinion, or they had a discussion with regards to women going to the masjid. So we know women used to go to the masjid in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, and the Prophet ﷺ told people not to stop them. But then later on, because situation got quite bad, there were women that were being molested on the roads and alleyways, going to the mosque. You know, people doing things, unfortunately. So the ulama said, look, women shouldn't go to the mosque. It's for their own safety. They don't go. And so this is the kind of main reason. And yes, other reasons may have been because, you know, men and women were finding this a way to kind of legitimize haram like relationships. Right? That's like another issue. If there is, I would say, look, if there is, the illa is this, isn't it? That women going to the masjid makes them benefit. If they're going to the masjid to benefit, and this is something which is increasing their iman, and if they don't go to the masjid, they don't really have access to Islamic information, etc. I would say it would be good for them to go to the masjid, right? So in that kind of situation. So these kind of masail are based upon illa. If the illa is there, then the ruling is there. If the illa is not there, so now if in a society, if there was a lot of women going to the masjid and it was actually causing them to be harmed by other people, catcalling and, you know, people trying to stalk them, this blah blah blah, then I would say they shouldn't go. Yeah, does that make sense? Stars, when will you finish Quduri? Maybe in 4 years' time. I just gave a random number there. Abu Bakr, one is in school and there are not enough people to pray Jum'ah, but there is a second Jum'ah held 30 minutes after school ends. They do not know if they can get there on time. Yeah, so try to get there, and if you don't get there, just pray the Zuhr. Yeah, so they try to get there at least. Try to get there. And if they don't get there, just pray the Zuhr, inshallah. This is for summer, isn't it? Masir Ali, what's the goal of studying the Muwatta? Both of them, same question for Mishkat. The goal of studying Mishkat is supposed to be you have like a wide understanding of the collection of hadith, right? The themes of the hadith, and, you know, understanding the language of the hadith. Right? That's the main thing. So you want to be exposed to all the major hadith related to tahara, salat, ilm, iman, etc. So once you're exposed to that, when you study the big books of hadith, you don't really need to focus too much on the meaning of the hadith. You just need to focus on what the author has contributed to the science. Same with Muwatta. Muwatta is more of like understanding the earliest fiqh of hadith. That would be the benefit of that. In your experience, would such a marriage be very difficult to be fulfilled? And I don't have that experience. But if the lady's wali doesn't like it, then no, then you can't go ahead with it. Right? You can't go ahead with it. But if they're okay with it, if you say to them, look, just for until I'm able to get some money and then, you know, get a property or maybe rent a place, then, you know, is it okay that we have this arrangement? What if Asr has started for those who follow first misal? Yeah, then obviously the people who follow first misal, they can't do this. Yeah, they can't do it. But for those who follow second misal, they can do it. Are you going to continue to do summary of each surah? I was thinking about it. Maybe I'm going to try my best because it takes me a lot of time. Like literally each surah I've been doing recently in Ramadan has taken me about 15 to 20 hours to prepare. When you study books of hadith such as Mishkat, how would you tell the difference between that which you can read yourself and that which you really need a teacher for? So simple test. Read it yourself. If you understand what it's saying, fine. Yeah, if you get stuck, you ask a teacher. The main thing is when you study by a teacher is for you to for the teacher to know whether they're happy with your understanding. So self-studying Mishkat is not a good idea. Inshirah, alaikum assalam, ahla wa sahlan. I hope you're well. Wa alaikum assalam. Is making excuse for wrong actions in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala the same as justifying, or can this fall into trying to understand oneself? It all depends, I would say. Look, so if a person has, for example, done something wrong, and you're trying to think to yourself, look, maybe I did it because of this, or maybe because of that, maybe. But generally, you should assume it to be trying to justify wrong. That's the If, for example, you're involved in something that's wrong, and you're trying to say to yourself, I'm only doing this to stay away from this or that, then it seems as though you're really kind of justifying it. So it's not like an easy answer. What I would suggest is you think about what you're doing and you ask someone else, if a person was doing this, what would you say? And that way you can get clarification on the matter. If the Hanafis say makruh in the books, is it tahreem? So it depends. Usually it is. Usually makruh is tahreem. Have you seen The Science of Noble Hadith by Mufti Mu'adh Jati? I have not seen it, no. I actually studied all of Mufti Mu'adh's series because I met him once and he gave me access to all of his. I actually paid him for it, but he didn't want me to pay, so he returned my money. I did the whole series of it, went through the whole series, mashallah, very beneficial. I would definitely recommend anyone who really wants to study Usul Hadith, and really, I would say, study that course, and you'll benefit a lot. Is it allowed for a man to be topless in front of his family such that under the navel can be seen, or shorts so the knees could be seen? No. This 4-volume book has an excellent I'rab Quran. It was done by 40 students under the supervision of some scholars. Tafsir fi I'rab. Okay. Check it out, guys. Do you have any recommendations to study Nahu and Sarf thoroughly on my YouTube channel? Anyone who wants to study Arabic, I always say to them, study my Quranic Arabic. Honestly, so many people benefit from it because it gives them access to understanding Arabic. And a lot of people have actually benefited from Nahu after studying my Quranic Arabic. They actually benefit from Nahu more. They can absorb more in Nahu. Right? So I would definitely recommend anyone who is interested in studying Nahu, I would definitely recommend do my. Remember I was telling you guys I'm going to increase the Quranic Arabic 70 lessons, number of lessons. Yeah, so I'm going to include in there, inshallah, the last 15 surahs of the Quran as well, and do tarkeeb of those. Salam, Huskus, Ahlan wa sahlan. Any recommendation on how to organize your books on bookshelf? I got new. Any way you want, really. What I would do is organize them in a way that it's easier for you to access, so you can remember where things are. So, for example, you might want to organize Quran in one section, Hadith books in another section, Usul books in another section, Nahu books, miscellaneous books. So there's nothing specific. It's just whatever's easier for you to access. Some people like the aesthetics as well, so they like organizing them in a way that looks pleasing as well. I got a new shelf for a $5. Wow, dua for barakah, and trying to work out how to organize. Weren't the women prevented the way they dressed and behaved? Lack of haya? I haven't come across that. Do I need to repeat my salah if prayed my salah sitting down on a plane, for example? Do I need to repeat my salah if I prayed my salah sitting down? No, you don't have to. Can you hold a baby in salah? In fard salah, you should not. Nafal salat, possibly. If they have najas in the nappy, the salat won't be accepted. 16 volumes, yeah. When we hear about scholars and other scholars that are a higher level, what's the criteria the scholars use for judging this? I don't know. Good question. I think generally it's like you kind of know who's a good doctor and who's like a low level doctor, who's a good architect and who's a low level architect. You can tell through their work. So it's generally recognized through their work if they give talks or if they teach lessons or they write books. Those are the usual three ways that people. Did you hear that? Yeah, I heard about the fire. So many books. Allah make it easy for them. Sheikh Ali Hani said in his first video of the Maqasid Surah that there are three main ways to find out the Maqasid of the Surah, names of Surah, introductions, closing verses. Yeah, that's a good introduction of the verses is something I've seen a lot. Like every verse, every surah. If you understand the opening verse, the verses, you can see what the surah is all about. Tayyib, wa alaikum assalam, ahlan wa sahlan. It would be good if you do a book review for it. Yeah, inshallah. Let me buy it, inshallah, first. And then I'll. What tips would you give for bayans, Ustad? So bayan, look, when you're delivering a talk, the main thing you need to understand in a talk is three things. Confidence. You need to build your confidence. Whatever way you can build your confidence, build your confidence. Number two is you need body language, which includes your voice projection as well. And number three is content. Content needs to be very, very good for the audience. Focus on the audience. Don't give too much details. It has to be. So these three things, I would, from my years of experience of giving talks, I would say, if I could go back in time and tell myself at a young age, I would say, build your confidence. Get used to speaking in front of random audiences. People that you are the most shyest of speaking in front of, get used to speaking. Make sure you focus on your body language. So when you're standing, stand square, right? Shoulders, and use your hands, and make sure you don't speak too fast when you're speaking. That's all your behaviors in your body. And so you speak. So for example, let's say I'm giving a talk on the importance of praying tahajjud. So I would stand, and then I would think about, okay, what am I going to talk about? And whatever I'm going to talk about, I'm going to deliver it very slowly, very easily. So I would say, brothers and sisters, how important is it for us to connect ourselves to Allah? Allah, the one who sent the Quran to the Prophet ﷺ. Allah, the one who encourages us to read the Quran, especially when it comes to the nighttime. Yeah, and like that. So the rest of it, I would say, it just takes time to refine. Like how you say things in talks and what kind of phrases you come out with and the pauses. These are all like extra, sprinklings on the top, I would say. But these are the three things to focus on: confidence, body language, and your content. He said just the name giving the main topic is from the I'jaz of the Quran. Subhanallah. If you watch that, you may save yourself some time summarizing it. So the reason, look, the reason why I read the whole thing, first of all, it's my own benefit. So I can, in my head, encapsulate all of it. The other is I want to present, and I mentioned this before as well, is, I've seen a lot of these summarization of the Qur'ans, but I don't feel as though that this has summarized the Quran in a way that I can picture the whole, everything in connection. Every verse connects with each other. The last verse and the first verse and the middle verses and the stories and the wordings used in each surah. All of these things, they make up the entire, you can say it's like a closed circuit, right? It's all self-sustaining, if you understand what I mean. So this is why I haven't really found the khulasas like impressed me that much. I've seen some khulas, people just like summarize, okay, this surah can be summarized into 5 points or 10 points or this. I don't really kind of like that method. So this is why I do my own method. Generally, I am like that. I don't know if you kind of noticed, but I am like that. I generally like, as long as I've understood it thoroughly, I'm not happy to explain it to other people. I like to understand it thoroughly. I can make sense of everything, and then I like to explain it. So this is why it's not about me saving time that I can read someone else's khulasa and save time. No, that's his like. So imagine someone looking at a massive mountain, massive ginormous mountain. Everyone's looking at that mountain from their own angle. Yeah. So I'm standing here, and he's standing there, and you're standing there, and she's standing there. So everyone can see from their own world experience, their life experiences, and their experiences with studying, and they analyze it, and then they come out with this whole summary. And then maybe someone else will see something that this person doesn't see. Would you be able to make a series on Mukhtarat? Not at the moment. Yeah, so if you've seen my series on Malfluti, yeah, so I'm going to inshallah hopefully continue that. But in the intro of the Quran, I beheld Shaykh Nuh mentioned how many tafsirs they went through. Shaykh Ali, the man's an ocean, subhanallah. For salah on a plane, just to clarify, can you sit down for fard salah and you don't have to do? I would say no. No need to. No need to do qada. Umrah bint Abdul Rahman, Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu anha says, if the Prophet ﷺ was to know the situation of today, women, he would surely stop them from coming out of the masajid, just like the women of Bani Israel were stopped. I said to Umrah, what stopped them? She replied, were they stopped? Yeah, so again, this narration does not clearly show exactly what the issue was. If it was so bad, why didn't Aisha stop them? Aisha didn't stop them, and others didn't stop them. It was only later, about 100, 200 years later, is where we see the fuqaha mentioning these rulings. So it's not necessary. So sometimes what happens is, like Abdullah ibn Umar, once he went into a masjid and he saw someone doing dhikr aloud, and he said to everyone, come on, get out of this place of bid'ah. That doesn't mean doing dhikr aloud is wrong. We don't know exactly what they were doing that annoyed Abdullah ibn Umar. And maybe Abdullah ibn Umar's view on certain things was quite harsh and strict. So when these kind of statements are mentioned, we have to understand what the fuqaha was saying. The fuqaha had a bird's eye view of the days of Sahaba and Tabi'in. So they kind of see exactly what's happening. Does that make sense? So if it was an issue where women were becoming too loose going to the masjid, then clearly the fuqaha would have said it in their books. Abu Hanifa and Sahib would have said it. So that's why it's important to understand things in context, right? I've got the same confusion. I've always heard that you pray sitting down in its time, but then repeat the salat. So I think the people who say you repeat it again, they're doing it out of cautiousness. They're saying because, like, when you're praying in a plane, you're not really praying salat. Yeah, because it's not connected to the ground. Otherwise, I mean, fuqaha would have mentioned something similar to that, like early fuqaha. Wa alaikum assalam, Naseem, ahlan wa sahlan. Hope you're well. Okay. Also, Sheikh, may I ask, if we are teaching at school madrasa, since we get paid for the time, will it be permissible to just pray and go to toilet? Yes, as long as the management are okay with that kind of thing, is fine. Time left after we finish teaching, my madrasa lock straight up after. Yes, it's fine. All will be to ask the head teacher. No. So you, in these kind of jobs, you look at what the general sort of the management says about these kind of. If the management is okay for you going to the toilet several times in the day, it's fine. TMZ, with the amount of ilm online via courses and YouTube lists from different mashaykh, do you think someone could become a strong talib? Yes, of course. But what I would suggest is always check yourself with experts to make sure you're understanding the stuff right. Because what could happen is you could be traveling on this YouTube road of ilm and you could be diverging and coming out with your own strange views and you don't even realize it. And then you've gained so much, but at the same time, a lot of it's toxic. So you always regularly check with scholars, say, look, I read this, I understood this, is okay. Sami'ul Islam, alaikum assalam, ahla wa sahla, may Allah bless you and you too, my brother. Your podcast with Khasu was very beneficial. Do you still teach Arabiya Bain Yadayk privately? No, I don't. Yeah, I don't. I think, who teaches privately. If you go to Quranic Insights, so if you go to Quranic Insights, go to their website. I think they've got you can have private lessons with people, with Arabs, with scholars. Maybe it's Arabs, maybe they're non-Arabs, to learn Arabic Bain Yadayk. So go to Quranic Insights and tell them I sent you. Maybe they'll give you a discount. So do you need an opening line to capture the audience for bayans? Yeah, so there's a lot of other things, like I said, sprinklings on top, but these are the three main core things to be good at bayans, right? The main core things to be good at bayans. Yeah, so I would say as long as you focus on these three things, the others will naturally come to you. My brother Abu Safura, wa alaikum assalam, ahlan wa sahlan, Abu Safura and Safiya. You need to pay me to even say all those names like that. It's just, look at that. Sheikh, will you be continuing a conversation club? I'm thinking of restarting it again. thinking about it, but not at the moment. How can we study the seerah? Most seerah kitabs have a lot of names which I can't remember. So seerah, I would say, I personally think seerah should only be studied after you've learnt the whole Quran. This is my own view, okay? Like when I'm talking about seerah, I mean thorough seerah. Basic seerah, you can study it from books like Martin Ling's Muhammad, or Seal Nectar, or even Dr. Yasir Qadi's book. These are kind of books you can use. But if you want a thorough investigation, then you need obviously to understand what the whole Quran is saying. You want to teach it based on your understanding makes sense. Yeah, that's the thing. Because I remember in Pakistan, many of my teachers knew the whole Quran summary. Like they could summarize the whole Quran. I remember there was a scholar in Pakistan. He could summarize the whole Quran in 1 hour, entire Quran. He just summarizes from this chapter, from this page to this page. Allah talks about this and this page, like that, all the way through. But that method, like I've seen that method, and that method isn't something that really kind of sits with me. Safura and Safiya giving salams. Hello, Safura and Safiya. How are you two? I bet Safiya is like kind of rolling around and jumping up and down. And Safura, I hope you're well. I hope school. Are you happy, Safura, that you don't have school on Monday? Are you happy, or tell me, are you sad? I'm just curious. Is there any reason Imam Zufar rahimahullah was not as accepted as Sahibain? No, Imam Zufar has many views that are accepted. The thing was that Imam Zufar, his fiqh wasn't really something that was taken by later Hanafis. So see, what happens is when you have students who take your fiqh, that is where your remembrance sort of carries on. Yeah, it remains. So Zufar seems to not have that. Zufar was very qiyas based, very, very qiyas based. So that's why the rest of the Hanafis, they kind of entertain the ideas of istihsan and the ideas of darura and urf and all these things. But Zufar seems to be very kind of strict. In fact, Ibn Abidin says 17 of Imam Zufar's masalas are taken by later Hanafis as muftabi. Can you go through the ruling of the blood flowing from its place? Yes, I've got check my Kuduri, my brother Anonymous. In my Kuduri, I've got a whole lesson dedicated to the blood moving from the place. So check that out, inshallah. Sweet Garden, wa alaikum assalam. MashaAllah, Jazakallah khair. MashaAllah, Abu Safura. May Allah bless you and your family and for barakah in your wealth and your health and your time and your efforts. I'm guessing we can check our understanding is correct by exams by teachers. Yes, that would be fine. Hibatullah, wa alaikum assalam. Jazakallah khair, my brother Abu Safura. Thank you for your kind donation. It makes me very happy when you guys love my channel. It's like you guys love me. So I can't keep my wudu for too long, so I generally decide what my heart says. I feel shy to speak. Yes, that should be fine, inshallah. It's okay, even if there's time left after madrasa does get locked up. Yes, inshallah, that should be fine. How can we learn Quran fast? How can you eat food fast? Yeah, so there is no shortcuts in learning Quran. Yeah, what I would suggest is the best way to learn Quran is learn it from a teacher. Sami'ul Islam, how would you advise perfecting your spoken Arabic for intermediate students? How do you overcome? So what I would suggest is, if you want to improve your Arabic, you need to expose yourself to a lot of listening, a lot of reading, and a lot of speaking. Yeah. And in fact, the fourth one, writing. Listening, speaking, reading, and writing. These are 4 things that will refine your speaking. Practice as much as you can. When you're speaking, every single day, try to speak some Arabic to someone. If you can't find someone, speak to yourself. Think to yourself, how would I translate this? How would I say this? How do you overcome trying to understand poetry as it feels? So start small. Start on small poems, and then gradually work your way up. Imam Zufar died early, so I think that has to do with his views not being spread. Yeah, but they're still documented. See, the thing is, they still documented a lot of his views. She's happy being off since yesterday until Tuesday, inshallah. Safiya is trying to bite. Yeah, that sounds like a... I heard that in the Hanafi madhab, for something to be haram, there has to be ijma'. No, not ijma'. It has to be categorical. Qat'iyyu dalala, qat'iyyu thubut. Yeah, so I would suggest if anyone's interested in understanding about the usul, I've got a series on usul, and that series is called on my uruk.com channel. It's called 28 lessons or 28 lessons of usul fiqh for beginners. May Allah bless you, Ustad. Ameen, ameen. Aisha Fazal, alaikum assalam. Walking Beast, you're welcome. If someone grew up in domestic violence and abusive household, how do they let go of the oppression and make dua for them? I don't know. It's hard. Very good question, guys. It's difficult. You know, I can tell you theoretical answers for a lot of things, but one thing I've learned over the years is you can't answer everyone's questions. Yeah, imagine someone's gone through, you know, when they were children, they've been abused and they've gone through domestic violence and they've been harmed, and you're just saying to them, do sabr, or you know, give charity, or make dua to Allah. This is difficult, very hard. Yeah, there's so much like trauma the person's gone through, so much inside that they're pain they're feeling. You can't simply give them an answer. Allah knows their situation, and Allah is going to judge them according to the problems that they went through. So I would say just take it day as each day as it comes. Yeah, day by day, just let everything slowly happen. Is joining the prayers in the same time permissible for the Hanafis? No, only in Hajj. I know the madhab does not allow this. Contemporary Hanafi scholars do practice this. So one is practicing something, one is in. So what you have to understand is, if you say to me, does Hanafi madhab allow this? No. But are Hanafis allowed to do this? Are Hanafis allowed to do this particular practice if it's on the Shafis? Yeah, if there's a need for it, they can do it. Yeah. So for example, officially Hanafis are not allowed to take money for teaching the Quran. That's the official position. But the later Hanafis took the Shafi position on this because the government stopped funding the ulama. And if the ulama don't get funded, then they have to go and work. And if they go and work, they can't teach. And then if they can't teach, it's going to have a massive effect in society. So they allowed the taking based on the Shafi and Maliki school. So when people ask me, is this allowed in the Hanafi school? I'm going to say yes or no. And then if you ask me, but I see Hanafis doing it though, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's allowed in the Hanafi school. It just means that those particular individuals may have taken a view of another school on that matter. How to dispose of a written, drawn ta'weez that could be bad? You just burn it, inshallah. Is the studies of iftar hard? And you must, yes, I would say you must be good at fiqh. So you must basically, the chapters of fiqh, you must know the masail in fiqh. So Quduri, you should be able to summarize each chapter of Quduri in your own words. Why is it we can't wear shorts and we're alone, but we can? So there's a difference of opinion amongst Hanafis, yeah, about this. Generally, I would say you're allowed, if you're alone, you can wear. If you're alone, no one else sees. As long as your aura ghalidha, your private area, that's covered. Some say that you shouldn't wear them. You shouldn't like kind of have those kind of. So there's a difference. Is khabar mutawatir and khabar mashhur what makes things something haram? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. So it has to be something has to be qat'i. Yeah, something has to be qat'i for it to be counted. Yes, there are many things that are mutawatir and mashhur, but they're not haram or they're not fard. Yeah, but I would say probably most things would fall under that. Most haram things have to be established through at least qat'i, mutawatir. You're welcome, Kareem. If a person leaves Islam and returns back to Islam, does he need to do qada of his missed salat, zakat? No. How does one define need? So as a student, if I know Shafis can combine and I need to do it, are there some principles? Yes, there are. So basically, they say you don't fall into haraj. So for example, let's say you're a doctor and I don't know, you oh, that might be a difficult answer, but let's say for example, you have to travel somewhere and trying to pray Asr on time is going to be too difficult for you because trying to find, you don't know if there's going to be a place for wudu, you don't know, like it's very, very stressing. So therefore, you can take the Shafi position on that. What I would suggest is generally people should ask the scholar, say, look, I'm doing this thing, would it be okay for me to combine the salats? And if they say to you yes, then you can follow it. So could you please give some advice about how to stop worrying about things happening in the future? I guess worrying is a normal thing. What I would suggest is the reason why people worry about the future is because they feel they're not in control of what's happening. So have trust in Allah. Remember, Allah, whatever is going to happen to you, if your car is going to break down, it is going to break down whether you have tried your best or not. So you do whatever you can and leave the rest to Allah in everything in life. Like, for example, you locked your house door and you've gone to work and you're stressing, will someone rob my house? So you locked the door, you said the dua, and you leave. That's it. Trust in Allah. This is all about leaving in the hands of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Do you know any websites with good reading articles about any topic in English? Sapiens Institute. I need something to read because I have a lot of free time here. Sapiens Institute is very good. I want to come to your house on Sunday, Safur. Sunday, you want to come to my house? Possibly. Oh, actually, I might not be at home. I might be. So maybe you can come, maybe you can't. In fact, my nephew is going to be coming tomorrow. Yeah, Saturday he's going to be coming. But we'll see. I'm going to be doing gardening. I'm going to be spraying the garden, the fences, inshallah. I bought the right paint this time. But yes, Safura, inshallah. Right. Okay, guys, I'm going to call it a day. My time is up. Yeah, I'm going to go into hibernation until tomorrow, inshallah. So I will see you guys tomorrow, inshallah. May Allah bless all of you guys, give you barakah in your wealth and your health, forgive all your sins, and give you good health as well. Yeah, and subhanallah, good health is the most important thing. And make dua for my bike as well, so my bike gets ready, inshallah. I read something beautiful about having anxieties about future. Do not borrow grief from the future. That's a good one. Advice for the weak. Advice for the weak is, are you saying the weak and the strong? Advice for the weak is advice for the weak. What I would say is, my advice for the weak would be, don't feel in life that you're the only one going through it. Yeah, I think that is probably the biggest thing. And this is maybe one of the benefits of believing in the belonging of the ummah. Yeah, the belonging of the ummah. I think that's probably one of the biggest things. Because you're not the only one going through it. When you remember you're not the only, imagine you zoom yourself out of this world and you can see everyone on planet Earth. You can see everyone in your own road and everyone in your own area and your own city and the whole country. And you can see all of them, what they're doing. And you can see that someone's ill, someone's got a headache, someone's broken their leg, someone's just, injured themselves, someone's had a heart attack, someone's lost their job, and someone's got a job, and someone's passed a driving test, and someone's failed one. All these things are happening whilst you're going through your problem. So you realize the problem is not something which is only restricted to you. Everyone's going through problems. And it kind of eases the burden from your heart as well, inshallah. So anyway, I hope you guys benefit from that advice. And I will see you guys, inshallah, tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.